Backyard dwellings are inherently created when you have a formal structure and then you have dwellings built at the back, and they can be built for many different reasons. Whereas an informal settlement is typically it's all informal dwellings in an area. The biggest challenge is you often get a range as you have a formal settlement, and then over time you have backyard dwellings developing. You may have an informal settlement nearby, and the two end up sort of merging. So sometimes there's not even a very clear distinction between the two.
People move to the cities for economic opportunities. There's a shortage of land, so it inevitably leads to informal settlements developing. As land got scarcer and enforcement got stricter, people they started what we term as backyard dwelling. It's actually a combination of formal and informal. So you have a formal environment, which you have in the backyard or in the same yard. You have informal dwellings developing. But then you have, socioeconomic problems developing, and then ultimately, one of the challenges that we're sitting is the fires.
When we talk about the hot potato in the mix, an informal structure behind or at the back of private property, those are the areas where we see that fire starts.
More and more backyard dwellings popping up all over the show. People got a home and then they put a couple of homes in the backyard dwellings. The risk is going up. We often can't see them. We don't even know they're there. And they're very, very high risk in terms of death, fire starting, etc. Backyard dwellings have many reasons that they're more risky for fire to start. And just the main thing is people get trapped. The fire starts in your dwelling and you can't get out. You've got a home on one side, a fence or wall on the other side, and maybe you've got another informal dwelling on the other side, another backyard dwelling. You get stuck and trapped very easy. So anecdotally, we're seeing more deaths per incident in backyard dwellings than we're seeing in informal settlements, primarily because people can't escape. Another big issue with backyard dwellings is electrical risk, because now the formal home has electricity and they will have some sort of extension cord going into the backyard dwelling, and often electrical faults appear to be one of the main drivers behind backyard dwelling fires. Backyard dwelling will burn in basically the same way as a single informal dwelling. You'll have ignition spread across the surface and then eventually leading to flashover. Once there's enough energy release, all ignites, flames coming out the window. Backyard dwellings are often what will happen is they're hemmed in a bit more. So perhaps the fire will be contained and it will often then spread to the numbers of homes around it, and sometimes it'll spread into the formal dwellings in its vicinity. Fires in backyard dwellings and formal settlements are hard to detect, but we need to work towards it. Early detection is key. We've seen that all around the world. Early detection, fire alarms, smoke alarms, great. By all means, let's keep moving in the direction. There are problems faced, but hopefully with time we can overcome them. And same thing with suppression. These fires aren't easy to put out, but a basket of solutions and providing capacity to our community and everyone else will help being able to slow the fire down as fast as possible. So a big effort can move towards reducing the number of people affected and the extent to which they're affected, but we will never get rid of these problems. While we have informal settlement homes and backyard dwellings, we will have informal settlement and backyard fires.